space that's around him. He's lightning fed by the space that surrounds him. Take it all in. Breathe. Forever be. Forever.
Hey, welcome to UnSung. I'm your host, Blake Quimby. We're glad that you're with us. Before we get started today, I just want to invite you to go to these platforms and subscribe to the UnSung podcast. We'd love for you to join us on our journey as we talk to those lifting the limelight in their area in a supporting role. I think it's going to be really fun, so you're invited. So come along. Our guest today has many years, a seasoned musician and drummer. He is a business owner, a professional business guy, super cool guy. He's a chef, which is even really neat. But above all, he is a great father, and he's a great husband to his wife. I want to and just put your hands together. We want to hear you in the digital world as loud as you can scream for Mr. Lamar Merchant. Lamar, welcome, my friend. It's a star. Hey, welcome to UnSung, Lamar. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. I've known you for just a few months, but I feel like I've known you for a long time, and it's great to be able to connect with you
Awesome.
on the podcast, man. So let's just get right into it. Where you're not from Houston, but this is your home now, and where are you originally from?
Originally from the south side of Chicago. That's where I grew up. And high school, mostly college there. And I moved after graduating and moved to Louisiana, out of all places. Believe it or not, I was married before my current wife, and she was in the military. And so we ended up being stationed at Fort Polk, Louisiana. So spent some time there, and we split up. But the one beautiful thing came out of it was my daughter, and and spent about 6.5 years in Louisiana, and eventually moved to Mobile, Alabama, and that's where I met my current wife, and we got married, and my job took us to California, believe it or not. So a lot of moving around, for careers and things like that. So we spent like 4 years out there in California, and
So you went from like super cold in Chicago
yeah,
to just
yeah,
extremely hot in Louisiana to kind of better weather in Alabama to like perfection, and then all of a sudden you're you're back in the swamp, man.
But here's the irony though. My freshman year in college was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So
Wow.
I was pretty familiar with Louisiana, but of course I was familiar with the South Louisiana, where I was stationed, was a completely different monster. So it was pretty brutal. Middle of nowhere.
So you were in the military, right?
No,
No,
my ex-wife was
your ex-wife.
military.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So I worked as a GS worker for a little while teaching music until I landed a career path with Enterprise Rent-A-Car in their management program. So
That's why I like you, because you know what? I worked at Enterprise for about 2 years.
really,
I did, man. Hey, I wasn't in the glamour, like up in the thing. I was working it between like traveling and being home. I needed some type of job. I guess clean cars at my dad's shop for a few years until I was able to make it on my own. But so that's why I like you, man. We're Enterprise
yeah,
alum. You know what I'm saying?
yes, yes, yes. Just for 4 years at ERAC, and moved up to manager in a year and a half, pretty fast.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to start. I know that majority of my CD collection. That's right, I said CDs came from Enterprise rental cars.
Cars, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
like you. Trust me, there's some crazy stories I can tell you of stuff I
Sunglasses.
found.
Oh, I can give you at least 2 dozen of craziest stories on not only customers but the cars. And
Oh yeah,
I
they
had
they're
I
yeah.
had, I had one story where we rented a car. No, we rented a conversion van,
Wow.
15 passenger van to some musicians.
Oh
They were
wow.
going on tour. So
Oh man.
by the time they brought that van back, oh my God, it was this is going to be wild. It was dried vomit everywhere,
Oh.
trash, Cheez-Its. I mean, you name it. I mean, it was almost like a bunch of 3-year-olds who were on a road trip. It
Mm,
was brutal. It
mm.
was brutal.
And at the end of the day, musicians are just like little 3-year-olds, man. Probably
Yeah,
2-year-olds. You know, like
yeah,
just
yeah,
give them a diaper and let them run. You know, like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, it was crazy, dirty every time. And so all I have to say is be kind. You know, they used to say be kind, rewind, but be kind. Clean out your car when you rent one. It's not
Absolutely.
that hard. It's not that hard, especially if you vomit in it. Just clean it up, please. Uh, so man, you've traveled a lot around the world or around the U.S. and you're here in Houston.
Yes.
I met you through a buddy of mine, and just speaks super highly of you, and we love having you playing with us when you're available, and so it's been really great. But I want to know how did you where'd your first love of music come from? Do you even remember like your first instance? You're like, oh, I love music. I want to do that.
Let me tell you, it's I can't tell you when. That's how long ago it's been. So apparently, according to my mother,
Mm.
um, I was 3 years old, taking out pots and pans and playing with the spoons, and by 4 they bought me my first little drum set, and the drum heads were paper actually. So me being a boy, and the curious, I was puncturing holes in it with pins and whatnot. So needless to say, I didn't get another drum set until probably 12 years later.
Wow.
But yeah, it started very, very young as far as my love for music. Listening to records. I'm dating myself also. Listening to actual vinyl records from
Well, now
my
they're back in
parents.
style. Now that they're back in, like everyone wants
Yes, they
the
are.
record
Yes,
thing
they
now,
are.
right? So,
So yeah, listening to different variations of music. My grandparents were jazz heads, so it was a lot of jazz, especially my dad's parents. Um, they would play a lot of jazz. I couldn't understand it. It was just something completely different than the Earth, Wind and Fires or the Commodores that I was listening
mm,
to at my mom's house. And but yeah, just a variety of music, just all around, just kind of, and just listening to the rhythms.
hmm
I think that's what really got me, um, and just really intrigued me was just listening to the rhythms of each song, how they were played,
hmm
and I would air drum, and just it was just always in me, so from the beginning.
yeah, that's very similar to how I started. I started with my just playing on pots and pans. My grandma would give me pots and pans and put TBN on. Now this was like the late '80s, so like Jimmy Swagger, all these guys are on, and I'm just
Yeah,
banging the heck out of these pots and pans, and so I totally can to understand where you're at and where you came from.
yeah.
And I call it Yaz music. It's just fun, right? It just doesn't make any sense, and I've tried. I don't know, but maybe one day I will get it, much like yourself, because you are a jazz player now, right? I mean, you
I
play.
am. I
You don't
am
just
a.
play one style. You can play pretty much whatever is needed, and
I am a jazz player that happens to play everything else. Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of like my thing. And I've found out over the years that the foundation of every style of music, the modern music that we're accustomed to, has a foundation of jazz in it.
hmm hmm
So you can take a swing and just essentially incorporate a backbeat, a rock beat. I mean, any type of rhythm with any style of music, but it all comes from the origin of the swing. So that's why I'm able to maneuver and play with different styles because of my jazz background.
Yeah, and I watched some posts that came up online or something, and Dave Grohl, Nirvana. Like I grew up loving Nirvana. It's just I was a '90s kid. That's what we did. Pearl Jam, Nirvana,
Yeah,
mostly Nirvana for me. And I remember it was Teen Spirit, and he said in his interview that he ripped that off of like some disco band, and I was like,
he actually ripped that off of Sly, and I think
yeah,
I think Sly,
it
and
was pretty
and
cool because then
yeah,
they showed it what the original drummer would do, and like I forgot who was interviewing, but it just like blew their mind, like whoa,
y-
and it
yeah.
came from that, and it's
Actually, I think it was Pharrell Williams
it
that
was for
was
real. You're right.
interviewing.
Yep, that's right. And so I think you're dead on with that. Music, how do you say it? It transcends so many different feelings and emotions, but also styles. Because I think
Yeah,
you're dead on. Like our listeners probably don't know this, but you play for a multitude of different bands. You have jazz, you do that.
yeah,
You can do country. You're in a Johnny Cash, right? Do you play with them, or are you in it? Like what? Give me all the
yeah,
rundown of what you're doing currently.
yeah. So currently, I'm in a Johnny Cash tribute.
Okay.
It's a four-piece band, and the fourth guy is Johnny Cash.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
Exactly. I'm also in a Elvis tribute.
Oh wow.
I'm in a. We do a combination of Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline.
Wow.
I just joined a just this past fall a Willie Nelson tribute,
Wow.
which is awesome.
Hmm.
Didn't think I would like it, but actually playing the music, it was riveting for me. So I'm in also a couple of cover bands. We do a little R&B, blues, jazz, and then of course, I play with you guys at the church
Hmm.
and fill in at two other churches,
Yep.
doing mostly CCM.
Yep.
And yeah, that's and then whoever wants to bring me on and hire me. So I've done when I first moved here to Houston. Believe it or not, I started off in a Poison tribute.
Come on. Did you say prison tribute band?
Poison,
Oh, Poison. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Wow. Now here's the thing. I've got it. I think we all want to know. The listening ears, the listeners want to know. Like, are you dressing up for this? Because the horses behind me are getting they're excited about this. They're like, I can't wait to see Lamar in these outfits. Now, are you dressing the part of Johnny Cash's drummer, Elvis? I would have. Do you have any pictures of yourself in the in Poison?
You know what? I got off of Facebook several years ago, and I had some pictures on there from some previous shows. Uh, that band didn't live very long, uh, probably because Ricky Rocket, the drummer, was a white guy with blonde hair. So it's just hard for me to pull that off. So everybody else was actually in costume other than myself.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
it's like the oddball of the band. But I mean, we were kicking butt on stage, but it
Yeah.
just didn't work out.
Oh no, no, no. But man, we
So
gotta we gotta bring Poison back. If the Poison guys are listening, Lamar wants to play with you. He wants to
yeah,
bring it back. Okay, let's
yeah, it was a cool,
reminisce.
it was a cool gig.
And every stage you are in. I mean that like in like on stage. I mean, you're a backing musician. I mean, that's what you do, right? I mean, you back up
Yes,
artists, you back up groups. Kind of tell us a little bit about that life because you also work a job, you have a family, but this is
right,
you know. This is what you do, and you've done it for a long time in many different
long time.
scenes in studio, live. My
Yeah,
first question is, what do you love most? Do you love the live or do you love studio?
I love live.
Yeah.
I love the live.
Yeah.
In any live situation, I mean, there's a lot of improvisation. I love the reaction and the energy from the crowd.
Mm.
Yeah, I just love a live show. Studio work is awesome too, because it teaches you a level of discipline.
Hmm.
You don't have a lot of leeway to, with playing a lot of chops, but it does give you some discipline, and it's awesome to have that sound or your sound engineered and played back, and you're like, wow, that was me, and when the record's completed, it's a project.
Yeah.
It's a finished project, like a molding.
Hmm.
And so there is a level of gratification and satisfaction during a session work. Um, the satisfaction from a live show is essentially the claps and the crowd cheering and people going wild.
A lot of
I've
energy.
also
A lot of
I've
energy.
also had booze too. So
Haven't we all?
yeah, yeah, or silence,
Yes.
silence.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, it's just the energy from the live show. Really, I really love that. If I had to choose the two between the two,
Yeah, and I'm sure being a supporting guy who's just showing up, playing, ready to go. I mean, I'm sure you've
yeah,
seen a lot of different things, but just with the musicians and their attitudes. I know we talked about that kind of off a couple of weeks ago, and let's just chat about that a little bit. I mean, because I think attitude is a lot.
hmm
Is does a lot for you in life, right? Whatever you do,
yeah,
not just musicians, and this is for
yeah.
everyone. So just kind of speak to that, like just talk about the attitude behind what you do and what you've seen as just being a supporting backing musician.
I was thinking about that. I think one of the benefits of me actually working a corporate job, specifically in sales, I'm able to get along with people, right? So in anything, whether it's you're working a job or playing in a band, you have to work with people, and
Right.
that discipline in the sales world translates over to the music world. And what I found is a lot of cats that play, music full time tend to not have the social skills,
Mm.
if you will, of getting along with people, handling conflict, um, the discipline of being on time. All of those things is essential
Yeah.
in the corporate world. So it's easier for me to transfer all of those attributes into the music world. Yes, we're playing music. Yes, we're being creative. However, but there's a business side to it.
Yeah.
Even if you're getting paid $100 for the gig for a 3 hour show, it's still a business. And you have the the club owners, the venues, the managers, and so forth. They're watching. They're you're there to entertain, and ultimately, you're getting compensated for it. But you know, just the professionalism is essential. So, but yeah, to me, the transfer from the corporate world into the music world. I mean, man, if I could bottle that up and sell that, to a lot of musicians, I'd probably be a millionaire by now.
Hey, I think that we've just got you. We've coined you. We got you doing. You're gonna do that next. We're gonna open up because and we're
A
gonna talk more
consulting,
about this. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
maybe you can just add that to your your
add that
uh,
to the
your flam
repertoire.
gear
That's
company,
right.
right? And I mean, that would be so cool. I mean, I think you're right though, because really being hiring someone in. I've done that a lot in my life, and you never know sometimes what you're going to get, because a lot of the times it's in an emergency situation. You're like, hey, I guess we got to have you, right? And
Yeah,
so you never know what kind of attitude and really preparedness. So if musicians think that they might be, you know, just maybe a bigger head, or thinking they're very talented, and a lot of them are. Well, let's not get
yeah,
that wrong. They're very talented guys.
yeah,
But then I think you're right. That corporate mindset of, hey, I'm coming prepared. I'm coming with a good attitude. I'm gonna know the songs. Either I have my charts by memory, or I know what's going on. I'm gonna ask questions.
yeah.
I see. That's what I love about you. I love that about you, because it's if there's any type of, hey, let's build here, let's do this, it's like it's not that big of a deal. I've seen
Right.
guys get frustrated over that. So, I think that your level of professionalism is needed in in the music world, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's lacking, not just in church musicians, but just everywhere, from bars to big venues. And it's kind of like the lifestyle, right? I think it's probably more that than anything. They just think, hey, I'm going to be a musician, so I'll do whatever I want to do. you know,
Yeah. I
I'm a
mean,
hired
I
gun.
found, I found that there's a huge lack of a self awareness
Sure.
with a lot of cats, and and a lot of times their bad habits get in the way of the gig or the show, and that could play a huge role in the interaction with other musicians on stage and behind the scenes too. So there's been a lot of fallout. I've seen it all. I mean,
Mm, mm,
I've seen it all from getting drunk in the middle of a show,
mm.
not being able to finish the show because they're out of it,
Wow. Wow.
2 hours late for a show,
Yeah.
um, fights. Just
You've
I've
run the gamut.
seen I've seen it all. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But it's nice to have guys like you, and there's more guys that share your same mentality, and I think that someone like you, I think that you should think about that. I think that's a great idea, how to build a new generation, right? Because I mean, we're all we're all getting older,
right.
and we
Yeah,
can't do this forever, and at some point our time is coming, and what better than to hand the keys over to another generation and say, hey guys, if you can do it this way, you'll be a success. And I think that's something that, man, maybe the Lord has that for you. You never know. You just pray into
hey,
it, right? I mean, you never know, man.
I've combined my sales skills and all the years of that training to the music world. Hey, maybe I'll start a podcast or
Oh
YouTube
yeah.
page.
I think you should. I mean, you've already got like a as you see, oh, it's so magical. Flamgearco.com. It's so beautiful. Go check it out today. There's a lot of cool merchandise. We're gonna get to that here a little bit later in the podcast today. But
Awesome.
yeah, so okay, so what inspires you, Lamar?
Wow, that's a loaded question, and it all de- that answer uh, varied, and it changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say today, what inspires me is overall it's just my family, my
Yeah.
kids, my wife. Um, had you asked me that, say, I don't know, 15 years ago, it probably would have been money or, playing on the big stage or, you know, being, a top dog in the sales world or
Yeah.
something superficial, right? So yeah, it has changed over the years, but currently being the age that I'm at, where I'm at in my life, um, that's what gets me up every morning
Mm.
is taking care of my family, um, and and just doing the right thing to be an example for them.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And
Yeah,
I want to add to that because I know we talked a couple weeks ago too. About just leadership, right? And I feel like you told me something that you follow leadership, and I think, man, that is for me. Just hearing you say that, I've been pondering that. Like, what is that? What does that mean? And how can I, what does that look like in my life? And
yeah,
um, the leadership quality is something that I too love. I love that about people I work for or whatever it is. So I think
yeah,
that's a really interesting thing that you said. You said you follow leadership, not money, and I
right.
think a lot of times we because, hey, let's be real honest, money's kind of fun because you can you
Yeah,
can go
you
get a
gotta
lot of Reese's peanut butter
have to have
cups with
money.
it,
Yep,
right?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and it's great. But doing it with people that you respect and love, and it's a family. I think that's a big thing, but also just that strong leader. So I don't know if you can speak to that at all.
Yeah, I kind of adopted that concept some years ago, and Of course, it came from the corporate world,
Mhm.
and I've learned that you can easily go and find the bigger, better deal, right? The BBD,
Sure.
right? More money, more perks. But at the end of the day, if the leader or your manager or your supervisor or the top people of the company, if uh, if they suck, then the money is not going to matter. You're going to be miserable.
Sure.
So I'd rather follow great leadership, and you're going to be your job is going to be more efficient with great leadership, less headaches. Everybody's more prepared. Um, just it's just a number of attributes that comes along with having great leadership. The money's going to be there.
Yeah.
That's the kicker. The money is always going to be there. Um, so following bells and whistles and more money. To me, I think that could be detrimental in the long term. You know, so yeah, and I utilize that philosophy even as a musician. Um, I just can't stand wishy washy musicians that
Yeah.
are unorganized. Can't can't seem to nail down the gigs or
Sure. Sure.
funny with the money.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's good.
just a number of things. So if it's good leadership, you don't mind. Hey, if you do a gig and the leader of the band is like, well, look, they wrote us a check,
Mm.
but I got you in a couple of days.
Mm. Yeah.
You can trust that person. You know,
Yeah.
but if you got a wishy washy guy, you're gonna need your money now because you probably not gonna see that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's definitely a philosophy I've adopted over the years.
Yeah. Another fun question. I'm just trying to think of some things that I think would be kind of fun to talk with you about. But if you had a moment, if someone was like, "Hey, Lamar, you're gonna sit in on this gig with this session with whoever. Who would you love to collaborate with?"
Wow. Well, my favorite jazz band is the Yellow Jackets. So, and my favorite drummer plays for the Yellow Jackets, and we have a interesting story.
Yeah.
So, but that will be the band I would love to sit in. Um, I mean, as far as jazz, I mean, there's other styles of music that I would like to sit in for, but that would probably be my highlight of my life.
Come on, man.
That's my favorite. I love that track.
Dude, that was fun. I saw that on your thing, and I was like, man, I've got to share that with our listeners today. And man, you crushed it. So you can do a lot of different things. That's just an example
Yeah.
of your playing. And I want to tell you that I am literally right now. I want to go get some tacos. I'm hungry. Luckily, I had some Lopez this afternoon, so I am.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. So there's a lot of different things that you bring to the table. I think just with your leadership style, with your ability to play different types of music, and then your overall attitude, man. I think it's so interesting to have someone like that backing up, being someone that's strong. And it probably took you some time to really realize. Have you always been that type of person, like a leader? I know you probably said 15 years ago you'd probably rather do so, but that's kind of been a process, or have that been your whole life of you
I,
just
I,
being that strong leader?
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't say that I called myself a leader, years ago, but I
Yeah.
would say that, a lot of times I will be the only one that will speak up during a meeting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I will be the one that takes the initiative, to help out another teammate.
Yeah.
There's been various situations where I took the lead to, help out, a coworker, where the company flies me to a completely different state to actually help them out
Wow.
because I volunteered to do it. You know, so yeah, I mean, the leadership aspect, you know, uh, I think it's something that should not be said, but just done. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
it, to me, leadership is more. To me, leadership is a verb,
Yeah.
not a
Wow.
noun.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, it's a verb. It's an action word to me, as opposed to just a noun, a thing.
Hmm.
So I think that's the difference. Some people are, they're labeled a leader or a team leader or whatever, but it's the action that defines the leadership.
Yeah. No, you're dead on, man. Man, as we ran out of our time, I have a few things I want to share with you. But before we do, I have one more question for you, and I think this would be kind of
Yes.
fun. Everybody dreams. Everybody has dreams. You're a successful guy, good family guy. But do you have any other dreams that you want to accomplish in your lifetime?
Wow. I think musically, uh, interestingly enough, I lived in Louisiana for 6.5 years, right? I've always had a dream of playing jazz in New Orleans.
Wow.
And that's always been one of my dreams. I've seen acts in New Orleans. I've gone to some concerts there. Uh, I've seen the Marcellus Brothers perform. I've seen Johnny Vodakovich perform with
Wow.
Astro Project.
Wow.
I mean, Donald Harrison, great sax player.
Hmm.
I mean, I've seen these guys. I used to live in New Orleans for a little while too,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think that's one of the things I would love to actually play in New Orleans and swing with some of these cats out there, man. Just a small little horn section with a trombone and a trumpet, upright bass, acoustic piano, and me on drums, and we're just kicking butt, just swinging. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
Sweating and swinging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We're going to use that this Sunday. We're going to sweat and swing,
Yes.
guys. Hey, if you live anywhere near New Orleans and you want to get in touch with Lamar, that's really easy to do. But I'm going to tell you, hire this guy to come in and play with your group or your band. It's definitely worth it. You're going to have a fun time with him. I think that's an incredible dream, Lamar. I think that's
Oh
something
yeah.
that you can do, man. That's a fun thing, but it's also a big aspiration. I think it's so important to do it. So I say go do it. Let's just go to New Orleans. We're just going to find someone,
Yes.
and maybe we'll just I'll do something for you. I'll find whatever group you want. Say, come here, drummer. Let me talk to you, and I'll just walk them down the way, and we'll go eat, and you can slip in and play drums for
Slip
them.
on in
Just
and
we'll
take the
figure it
gig.
out.
Take his gig.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You're like, oh. Well, hey, I want to touch on your company for a while, Flam
Sure.
Gear. Am I right?
Yes. Flam.
Flamgear.com.
Yes.
Flamgearco.com.
Yeah.
You have some really cool shirts. This one I really loved. It says drummers versus everybody. I absolutely love this. This is such a great shirt. Houston drummers hit harder. I've always said that. I'm so glad it's on an actual shirt, and that's you, right?
No, that's actually Patrick Williams. He's the longtime drummer for. He played for. He's here in Houston, by the way.
Yeah.
But he's played for Cal Turner. He's played
Wow.
for the late great Joe Sample, and countless artists that flow in town to and need a drummer. He's the guy. He's the smooth
Wow.
jazz. All the jazz fests. He's the man. So he's a good
That's
friend of
awesome.
mine, and I asked him to do a photo shoot for me once and to pull that off. So yeah.
Well, and then you have hitting some skins. I love this, man. This is a cool, super cool a shirt. So the thing is go to flamgearco.com. So you can get all these shirts, and there's a lot of other things. You can look at Lamar and some of his friends playing on there on this YouTube channel. But talk to us about this company you have, and how did it get started, and what's going on with it right now?
Yeah, so actually, this year will be celebrating 10 years with the company.
Wow.
So long time for a clothing line. I would say thank God for my corporate job to sustain it,
Yes.
because it's very the t-shirt business, uh, t-shirt design business. It's a, very saturated industry, and you have to have something that stands out.
Mm.
So when I started the brand, I noticed that there's t-shirts that represented everything and everyone else other than drummers, and I decided to start it, and name it Flam because that's the only note that drummers can play.
That's right. You got it.
So it created a little more of a fraternity or camaraderie amongst drummers, amongst around the concept of the brand.
Yes.
And within Flam, I created the acronym of Flam for Loud Anointed Musicians.
Love it.
So, just to indicate, my Christian values, I think that the art of music comes from the Lord. So,
Hmm.
that's something I wanted to kind of have a little, subliminal message within there. So, but yeah, we started the brand with just three designs,
Wow.
and it just kind of grew. I'm not a designer. I didn't go to school for any type of graphic arts,
Yeah.
but designs were just getting downloaded. I just draw them out. I would find a third party that would vector it for me.
Yep.
Eventually, I started doing it myself. And over the years, I was a master at eliminating the third party.
There you go. That's all you got to do.
So, as an entrepreneur, I mean, that's what you have to do. I mean, I do all the photography, the website, the designs. This year, we're going to do something completely different than we've done before. We're going to actually have and be able to uh, design on a dime. So
Wow.
on the spot. So
Yep.
I will have the equipment soon to where I can switch and change colors at need.
That's
And
awesome.
if someone say they see this shirt, but
Yep.
they want it in purple, well, guess what? I will be able to do that. If they want a special request.
Yes.
So that's coming. Something new for this year, that we didn't have the capability of doing before. We would always go through a third party vendor,
Hmm.
and you're beholden to their minimum order,
Yep.
and so that could be costly. I've still got shirts, triple X's are still sitting on the shelves.
Hey, in
So
Houston, you should be able to. You should be able to. Those things should be flying off the shelves in Houston, man. We big people over here. I ain't gonna lie, we are big people,
maybe
man.
I hang around some Whataburgers and I can give them away.
Oh, that would be so awesome after they come out after eating their triple burger. That'd be so good, man. I
Exactly,
mean, I
exactly.
understand. I've been in Texas my whole life, so it's all good. Um,
Yeah,
well, man, that's awesome. I love what you're doing. I love your story. I know we just had a short time today to chat with you on this, but I think it's important. I
yeah,
think it's important for guys like you to have your story told, and your quality, man. I was asking a few people just to kind of that kind of knew you and just kind of give me a few things to say about you. And this is something on the podcast that we try to do with everybody. And so I'm going to read this off, and these are just three things that hopefully will encourage you to keep on rolling. You
awesome.
support so many people, and I think a lot of people value just who you are, and I think that's important to hear in this lifetime. So you genuinely care about getting the music right. Um, has a way of making everyone sound and play better. And last one was successful and humble at the same time.
Awesome.
And
That's
so
a plus.
Yeah, and so I just want to encourage you with that today, man. I can't thank you enough for being on Unsung Podcast. You know, this is the first season, so you know who knows what happened. I'm looking for a
Yeah.
co-host, so if you know anybody, we're gonna have some co-hosting. So you know, I don't know, Michael Cash, if you hear me, I don't know. Come on, man. But man, we can't thank you enough. Make sure you go to flamgearco.com and you get
Yes.
yourself a shirt. Check out the videos, get the resources. Maybe email Lamar and just chat with him. He is worth every penny you're going to spend on anything that you get from him. And if you don't watch it, you might have a lifetime friend. You never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. And so, man, we appreciate you. And also,
Yes,
before we
appreciate
leave today, where's my button? There's a bumper. There's a button here. Let's just touch it. Here we go. And make sure that you subscribe and you follow the podcast because we just really think it's going to be a fun journey all along the way with everybody. So, Lamar, thank you again, man. I thank you for your time. Thank you for all that you do for the people in your life. I know your family loves you, Nicole. She's such a sweet lady, and we've enjoyed getting to know her. And I think, man, I hope the best for you, and I hope one day we get a like a link or something. You're like, hey, man, I'm playing at the New Orleans Jazz Festival or something. Come and
That'll be awesome.
dude, come. You got to watch it. Put it on your phone or whatever. Let's watch it. So I'm hoping for that. Make sure you guys reach out, flamgearco.com. Connect with Lamar. He's a cool dude. Thanks again, Lamar, for being here today. And man, I hope the
Appreciate
best
it.
for you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
No longer dead to this place that's around him. He's lightning fed by the space that surrounds him. Take it all.